boy, it's fun. This is going to be, I don't know. I very rarely come out and tell you when I was dead right. Like, I very rarely go, yeah, I nailed it. Because I don't like dancing on people's graves. I try to always take the high road. I admit when I'm wrong, and I rarely come out and say, I was right about this, but I want to talk about something I was maybe the most right about in my entire career. But we'll start here. I predicted the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to go 10-6 in 2020. I thought they would finish second in their division, and I nailed it. I was only off by one game. I will say there's more to that story that I did get somewhat wrong. We'll talk about that in a moment. But the reality is Tampa went 11-5. They finished second in the NFC South. But they also, and this is where I got it wrong, they did so much more than that. We'll get to that in a moment. But I want to take a minute. I don't gloat very often. I very rarely come out and go, yeah, I nailed it. But on April 7th, 2020, I put out a video, a film analysis of Tom Brady, breaking down the film, showing that Brady can still play. Basically, I said, everybody's wrong. Tom Brady can still play at a high level, and a lot of people were like, either you're right or you're dead wrong, because a lot of people that time were doubting Tom Brady. And look, I have never been more right in my entire career about anything than when I told people, hey, Tom Brady can still play. And it's not even really that I made a prediction. It's not like I was like, cross your fingers, hope you're right. I watched the film, and, stats often lie. People are throwing out numbers and stats and wins and losses and stuff that doesn't really matter for a quarterback. I was like, no, the film shows a guy who can still play at a high level with no talent around him, bad receivers, not a lot of help. I said, man, Tom Brady needs to go to a good team. If he goes to a good team, it's a home run. Well, Tom Brady went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, got better teammates, won another Super Bowl, number 7. He's got enough rings for over, he already had 6, now he's got 7. You're like, man, that's not even enough it's more than one hand will fit. It's crazy to me. I gave Tom Brady my award for the most important player in 2020 because Tom Brady galvanized the Buccaneers organization. I admit, though, I got one thing a bit wrong. Here's what I got wrong about this whole, I was right about Tom Brady. I said he can still play at a high level. I got one thing wrong in all this whole scenario. I didn't expect it to work as well as it did, as early as it did. Now, I admit 2020 did not start perfectly for Tampa. They lost week 1 to New Orleans. They started 6-2, though, and then week 9, the Saints beat the crap out of Tampa. They got embarrassed 38-30. Tampa Bay, I'm like, oh, no. I remember thinking at that time, like, well, this is not good. Like, I like Tampa. It's fun. It's a good story. But I was like, what, can Tampa beat a really good football team when they need to? Because they're good, but they're like, okay, who have they really beat? I remember at 6-2 going excited, but then after they lost week 9, I went, is this a bad sign moving forward? But then Tampa made the playoffs. And what that did was give Tom Brady and Tampa a chance. And that's really all they needed. They beat Kansas City in the Super Bowl 31-9. Tom Brady was the Super Bowl MVP. And look, there's not a lot more that needs to be said. I think that getting to play the Saints a third time, it's hard to beat a Tom Brady football team 3 times in 1 year. He's too good at preparation and analyzing stuff. And they got better a lot as the year went. Like week 1 to week 17 is a different football team. The Super Bowl, the team we saw was kind of that team, the Buccaneers, maxing out and reaching their full potential. That's really cool, and that's what a Tom Brady-led football team can do. I thought Tom Brady and Tampa would eventually succeed, but I thought, man, 2020, you got a new offense, new receivers, a weird offseason where you were working together as much as you could, but it's not perfect. I thought 2020 was going to be a good year for Tampa. I had them second in their division, which they did finish. But I expected Tampa to fall short of their ultimate goal. And I figured if they're going to compete for a Super Bowl with Tom Brady, it'll be year 2. By year 2, they'll be better. They'll figure it out. But they figured it out faster than I thought they even would. They exceeded my expectations. And it's possible that Tom Brady and the Buccaneers make another Super Bowl run this year in 2021. Their division's probably weaker overall. I think Carolina got better, but Drew Brees retired. The Falcons are rebuilding. Once again, Tom Brady, kind of like he was in the AFC East for years, is in a division that's down. And the competition isn't very stiff. And so man, if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, you have reason to be excited. And I'm really curious. Can the Buccaneers make another Super Bowl run in 2021? They've already won one, but they got the right guy leading the team to keep, the pedal to the metal and say, we got to go for more. And I'm just really excited and fascinated with the Buccaneers, what they do this year in 2021.